Hi everyone, it's the painful wrist guy again. So, just as a quick reminder, I'm the person who has issues in the ulnar region of the wrist, especially there, especially the right arm, but also the left arm. I've been struggling for 15 months, and now, since the last 5 weeks, I've stayed home on a sick leave, away from a 40-hour desk job, basically. If you want to have any more information about these topics, I've discussed them at length in the other videos I've uploaded in the past. Particularly the first one is giving you a very detailed explanation of how my pain feels, how it behaves, where it hurts the most, and what triggers the pain the most. Overall, I would say the diagnosis is RSI because it is tendon related, mostly tendon, mostly the ulnar flexor tendon that runs down here, as I discussed previously. But I have also minor issues, also of course in other regions of the arm, like the lower elbow region, or like from if you watch from top, like the elbow, this part here. So yeah. I just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up and update about my last week, or like even more, because I did not update last Friday as I was supposed to do because I had other things to do. But overall, I wanted to say that while my symptoms have not really changed for the better, at least not yet, because remember, I've been only 5 weeks in the sick leave, and only the last 2.5 weeks I was really able to do some physiotherapy. Before that, the wrist was so aggravated it was not possible. So as I said, the last 2.5 weeks I did some physiotherapy. I started with very gentle exercises at first for the, like, let's say first 7 days, and then I was finally able to move on to more serious exercises. My first real exercises which aim to build strength in the arm since the beginning of my issues. Basically, this means that I was not able to perform any exercises for longer periods of time than, let's say, 7 days on average of physiotherapy in the past, because they were either just wrong exercises, they were telling me to do the wrong movements, because to be completely honest with you guys, I am very disappointed in the medical system and the knowledge about this issue around the world, basically. But specifically, I live in Austria, and I spend a lot of time searching out the best doctors and best physiotherapists on this issue, and what I found was really not that encouraging. So they've been giving me either the wrong exercises, which I know then now for a fact that they are wrong, because I watched a video which I will link in the description below, which says that you need to avoid compression at all costs in the beginning. Compression means basically, like for example, if I've shown it on this left wrist, this movement is hurting me. So if I do this, this is compressing the arm into this angle. They basically told me to do this movement over and over and over and over again, and oh wow, next day or 2 days after I was in severe pain, and they didn't know why. No one knew why. Especially I love this. You will love this. I told doctors over and over again that usually I can do the exercise just fine, but the next day I'm in pain. So because they were always like, during the physiotherapy, oh, you're doing fine, what's the problem? And I kept repeating myself, yes, now it's fine, but I don't know how I'll feel the next day. And they were like, oh, that shouldn't matter. If it hurts the next day, then it's just coming from your brain. You're basically, like, I don't know, traumatized, and you're just associating pain with some impulses in your average daily life. Now I know for a fact, because again, I will refer to the video in the description, as Jill Cook, I believe, said, tendons will always tell you the next day whether the load was good or bad. And also Jill Cook said in her video, please, please, please avoid compression in the beginning. So, after being able to weed out the bad exercises, I started doing better ones. But still, the fact that I was working 40 hours a week, or sometimes even more, because you know how it happens. Usually, either I was spending more time at work, or sometimes when I got home, I need to do some stuff. Maybe not always even work related, but I needed just to answer some emails, or I don't know, bureaucratic stuff, day-to-day life. It was not possible to do even the correct exercises with such a huge workload. So now that I basically stopped my work for the last 5 weeks, I was able for the very first time since the beginning, so since 15 months, almost 16 months, at this point. I was able to perform exercises for more than 2 weeks. And this for me is mind-blowing. I wake up in the next day, and of course the muscles, this region here, feels sore. But this soreness is not like the typical tendon pain, because tendon pain, if you have it, you know it feels awful. It stops you from doing whatever you were doing. It scares the shit out of you. It feels like something is going severely wrong in your body. It's not like a sprained ankle or like a hurtful back or something. It's like a real bad pain. So I did not have this. I was super glad. I woke the next days up over and over again, and all I got was just, I know, muscle soreness, which I know perfectly well because I spent, before all this began, well, with some time in between, like 3 or 4 years in the gym. So I know how muscle soreness feels like. So I'm super happy about this. So now the last 2 weeks were the first ones I was able to do first exercises. And what are those first exercises? Well, according to Jill Cook's plan, which I will show you guys now, as you see in the very first phase and the second phase, no compression is allowed, but isometrics are a very integral part of this. And as you see, there's other parts like kinetic strength and so on and so on and so on. Basically, isometrics means that I apply some sort of pressure or force on the area in question, which for me is the wrist or like whole forearm, without moving the like the wrist in any of this direction. I just fixate it in one direction. Basically, if I would do it like this, where I just hold my arm here and push my arm like this, and then I would try to push with this arm up, like upright, but I just stop myself from doing this, right? This basically is an isometric exercise. I'm not doing this one, of course. I'm using a Ferra band, you guys know it's just like this elastic yellow gummy stretchable band, whatever you want to call it. And I do this, of course, with the guidance of my current physiotherapist. But mind you, once again, that I had to find this plan, and I needed to approach my physiotherapist and tell him basically, this is what I want to do. And only after he saw this, he gave me those exercises. So yeah, once again, I'm more or less on myself. So again, as I said, in short, the symptoms did not really get much better, but I was able to do exercises for the very first time, which is a huge milestone in my life. Now, I mentioned in the past that I had some local numbness in this area. This numbness has significantly improved in the past weeks. I think mostly due to the shockwave therapy, which I have been doing. I did it 2 times now, and I will go tomorrow for the 3rd session. But I believe maybe even those exercises which I started doing, maybe they had a positive effect. I still do get some numbness in this area. So where the palm starts, when I show it like this, it's this area. So it's in the beginning of the palm. But no numbness in this area where I used to have it the most. So once again, I'm super happy. Some small step towards the right direction. And now when it comes to symptoms, the last thing I could notice that basically whenever I rest, I get some twitches in this tendon, it twitches like strongly. And whenever I yawn, I do yawning and stretch myself. Like usually those fingers, the last 2 fingers, those 2 fingers usually, like, I don't know, as if the tendon would be stretching, like the fingers twitch a bit whenever I yawn. Whatever that means, I don't know. But this would be my last week. I will continue, of course, the exercises. I will continue the plan. For everyone who is interested in getting better with tendon issues, I recommend highly that you guys watch this video of Jill Cook. She's a great physiotherapist, and I believe that she's one of the few who has really went into detail and actually analyzed this, because the stuff I heard from other physiotherapists were like things like, we need to put a brace or a cast on it for months, which is something completely opposite what Jill Cook says, because she says that basically rest is a disaster. It's the worst thing you can do. Whenever you have a sick tendon, you can and you should load it. Maybe no compression, okay, but you should apply like some pressure to it, allow the muscles and the tendon to work. This is what I will keep doing, and I will of course go tomorrow to the 3rd shockwave session. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that I could maybe help someone out. If there is someone who has suffered with similar issues like me, I'm very happy to read about it in your comments. Other than that, see you guys next week. Bye.